Hi, everybody. So when was the last time you got in person with one of your creative friends? Hello. So today's lesson in Coaching from the Canvas and conversation from Coaching from the Canvas is how to foster your creativity when you're not able to be creative. So for the last really 2 weeks, coming up on this next week too, I'm traveling. I've been in LA, I'm in Dallas currently, I'm headed to New York, and then as always, life happens, right? So needless to say, with all this traveling, there has been zero work on the Heart Waves project. But that doesn't mean that it's not still going in my head. That doesn't mean that we're not still being creative. That doesn't mean we're not working through ideas. So today, I met with my friend Megan, who's also in charge of marketing for here. So yay, she's doing a great job. But we got together not only to talk about life, but to think about how we are creatively marketing the site, how we're utilizing some of the new tools that we've purchased, but also we've been talking about the Heart Waves project too, and brainstorming ideas on what it's gonna look like as I start putting in some of the golden heart waves. So, how do you talk about creativity with your friends? How do you talk about creativity with the people that you're with? And so, I don't know about you, although I can infer. Today's been great to meet up with you. Not only because we work remotely, but because we bounce ideas off of each other in such a great way.
Yeah, I agree completely. Well, and what I think is so great about creativity is it's not something that's just locked into like a canvas or a moment in time or anything like that. Like you can be creative talking with your friends. I mean, even what we were ordering for lunch, like there's a certain amount of creativity in that, right?
That's really true.
I mean, really, it's like,
what do you have?
Right. And what kind of meat do you want? Or what kind of dressing you want?
And what did you already have? And how does that play into what you do? Which is a really good point. Like, what if, when we bring it back to the heart wave painting specifically, like what did we do before? Like when we were talking about how I'm going to be putting in the golden waves with a new technique, more to come on that, versus the way that they had done before with a brush, which it ends, like the paint ends.
You used the word petering out a couple of times.
I did say that.
A couple of times. It was really cool. But then if you think about that, it's like, okay, if we think about like a heart wave, you know, even if you're just looking at it on an EKG, you don't ever want it to peter out.
Nope.
Like it needs to be a solid, consistent thing.
Right. Some strength in there, some consistency in there, some, right? And think about, like, this is interesting. Think about, we're just taking the EKG for a second. Like, it's been shown, like if I was on an EKG and you walked into a room with me and I like you, I'd be like, oh, yay, right? Yeah. And then conversely, if it was someone I didn't like, it might also go,
right.
But on the opposite frequency,
right?
Which is the whole concept of the Heart Waves painting.
It is.
It's like how do we put in the frequency of what we're feeling and what we want our space to be and how we want our bodies to be impacted. And so back to creatively brainstorming with your friends and your peers. Like what we've had today is going to set not only the Heart Waves painting, but our work together for the next foreseeable future, for the next several months, at least through the end of this year.
And our work also alongside each other too. So we talk a lot about the energetics of what we're doing together and then also separately.
That's super true.
Yeah.
So along with that is like, how do you build your community of the people that you are not only like-minded with, because it's important to infuse it with people who aren't like-minded. There's a lot of that happening for me this weekend too. But also like, I work in my room a lot, by myself, online, and people always say, like, you need to get out, you need to see people. But the plain honest truth is I'm fine with not seeing people. As outward as I am, like, I really don't care if I see a lot of people. But that being said, I'm at the point now in my growth where I need this.
Yeah.
Like, this was so good for me today.
Me too.
And not just the energetics. And to your point, one of the things I like to go off on a tangent was that we each have our own businesses. And so our conversation didn't just come around the heart waves painting. It didn't just come around our work together. It encompassed, to your point, like our beings, our soul, your work and how that's doing and growing, your family. All of that is creativity in a way that we don't normally think about creativity.
Right.
You
Creativity
know?
is more than just artistry, I think, you know?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put
it's
it.
like,
hashtag.
Hashtag, yes. But it's like you create something. It's like I can sit here and I've seen servers go in and out of the kitchen from where we're at. And, you know, the cooks in there, they're creating things, you know? It's like we're creating conversation.
Right.
You can create things all the time, and you do create things all the time. You just don't think about it because it doesn't feel formal.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're creating connection.
Oh, it's good stuff. It's good
Bring
stuff.
it around.
It's good stuff. And
Being here.
you know, people say to me all the time, I'm not creative, especially when we get into the workshops and I bring these creative workshops into these really structured corporations. And the employees go, I'm not creative. And my viewpoint on that, and what I say to them, of course in the most respectful way, is that we are all creative. We're all creative in our beings, in who we are, in our lives, in our jobs, in our conversation. And what I also say is that we are recreating our body every second. We have cells that regenerate all the time. Every 7 years, we're literally a brand new person. That in of itself is creation and creativity at its core. So you are creative. You may not be artistic at your creativity, which is also still capable. That's just technique that we can learn if you're interested. But we are all creative. We're creative beings, we're creative souls, we're creative entities. And when we get together, we're even more powerful together than we are alone. So
true.
Meet up with your people, brainstorm on your ideas, see what comes out of it, and here's to more powerful creating for you all. Bye. Bye, Megan. Thanks for joining.
Thank you.